What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So Cassie's mother testified today saying that she took pictures of her daughter's bruises and wired money to Diddy to satisfy him after he was angry about her daughter seeing another man. Regina Ventura was on the stand for about 15 minutes and spoke in a steady voice as she answered a prosecutor's questions about her daughter's relationship with Diddy. She testified about an email her daughter Cassie had sent to her and an employee of Diddy's company shortly before Christmas in 2011, in which Cassie said that Diddy was threatening to release 2 explicit sex tapes of her. "I was physically sick," Regina Ventura testified. "I did not understand a lot of it. The sex tapes threw me. He was trying to hurt my daughter." The jury was shown 4 photographs of Cassie showing bruises on her backside, her thigh, and her upper back. Regina said she took the pictures of her daughter Cassie on Christmas Eve that year when Cassie first told her that Diddy had beaten her. She testified she was bruised and I wanted to make sure we memorialize it. "I was scared for my daughter's safety." Around the same time, Regina testified she learned that Diddy wanted her to send him $20,000 via wire transfer because he was angry that Cassie was involved in a relationship with Scott Miscuddy, aka Kid Cudi. She says he was angry that he had spent money on her and she had been with another person. Regina said she and her husband took money out of a home equity loan and wired it to an account associated with Bad Boy Diddy's company. Regina said Diddy's bookkeeper sent her information with wire transfer instructions, and she went to a credit union and wired the money to the Bad Boy Records account. She testified that about 5 days later, the money reappeared in her account, and she never had any contact with Diddy about the money being returned. So when Emily Johnson, the prosecutor, asked her why she and her husband sent the money, Regina said, "I was scared for my daughter's safety." Regina also said she once called the police on Diddy after Cassie told her that Diddy had taken her phone. She said she had a bitter argument outside Cassie's apartment building as she tried to get the phone back from Diddy while Cassie was inside. She said, "I was trying to hit him, but I was not successful because D-Rock was in between her and Diddy." She claimed that Diddy eventually gave the phone back to Cassie, but he took Cassie's car as he left. By the way, prosecutor did not ask Regina about any of the freak-offs, and after the prosecutor completed her questioning of Regina, Diddy's lawyers said they had no questions for her, and she was excused. Oh, and catch this. When Regina left the stand, she stared straight at Diddy. She stared straight at him, and guess what? He looked directly ahead. He did not bother looking her way. He didn't want to look her way. That's because he knows what's up. He knows what's up. Now, I am going to read the transcript real quick because it's not long at all. And it's no point making another video just for the transcript since it's so short. Alright? So after David James testified, they took a break and they came back. And the judge says to the jurors, "I'm going to try to get the temperature turned up in here. I'm told it's complicated, but I'm freezing right along with you." And people laugh. Then the prosecutor says the government calls Regina Ventura. Prosecutor Johnson, I'm just going to call her Johnson. She says, "Where do you live?" Regina Ventura says, "New London, Connecticut." Johnson says, "How many children do you have?" Regina says, 2, Roderick and Cassandra. Johnson says, "Who is this?" Regina says, "Sean Combs. He dated my daughter." Johnson says, when did you meet Sean Combs? Regina says 2006. My daughter signed with his Bad Boy Records. He was her boss. Then they started dating. They moved to LA. Johnson says, read this message from December 2011. Okay, here's the email. I'm going to read it to you guys. So it's from Cassie. The name says Veronica Bang. December 23, 2011. And the time is 1:51 p.m. Eastern. And the email was sent to mom new email. And they crossed out the mom's email so we don't see it. And Capricorn Clark is Lauren London's sister, by the way. Okay, so she also received this email from Cassie. So it says, the threats that have been made towards me by Sean Puffy Combs are that he is going to release 2 explicit sex tapes of me. One on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another one sometime soon after that. He has also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott Miscuddy physically. He made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he would be out of the country when it happened. So then Regina says, Cassandra wrote this to me. She said Sean Combs threatened to release a sex tape and go after her and Mr. Miscuddy. Johnson says, how did you react? Regina says, it made me sick. Sean Combs demanded $20,000. He said to recoup losses due to Mr. Miscuddy from my husband and myself. Johnson says, why did you take a loan to pay Sean Combs? Regina says, for the safety of my daughter. Johnson says, look in the binder next to you. Regina says, these are the photos I took of my daughter's bruises from Sean Combs. Johnson says, do you know Mia? Regina says, she was an employee of Sean Combs. Johnson says, what happened? Regina says, we were in his kitchen, laughing. Sean asked her why she was laughing. She stopped and looked plain. Johnson says, now to August 2016, we are done with the binder. While in LA, why did you call the police? Regina says, yes, Sean Combs stole Cassandra's phone. They had a bitter argument outside her apartment building. She lived on the 17th floor. They argued at the runabout. Johnson says, who else was there? Regina says, D-Rock. Johnson says, is Damian Butler his government name? She says, yes. He was standing between us. I tried to hit Sean Combs. Sean Combs took Cassandra's car, a Jaguar. Johnson says, no further questions. Then the judge says, cross-examination. And Diddy's defense team says, no questions. And that is all, you guys. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any new updates. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.